Joe Biden visited a Stellantis plant yesterday that is allegedly, supposedly staying open thanks to the deal that was brokered between the United Auto Workers Union and the big three automakers. So Joe Biden was there giving a speech to the auto workers, who are grateful to him for some reason, I guess because they didn't have their heads bashed in by Pinkertons when they were on the picket line. I don't know what he did beyond that to really help them get this deal. But on the inside, they were very grateful to Joe Biden. On the outside, though, we had a Free Palestine protest. So here, huge crowd gathered outside of the venue. This is what I mean, where you're seeing politicians followed wherever they go with these protests. And it's really an amazing thing.
That's great
to see. But that's not where all the action was. One of these protesters was inside the hall as well. Here is a Free Palestine protester interrupting Joe Biden's speech. And one of the things that really incensed me about this was the reaction from the crowd, shouting down the Free Palestine protester.
He didn't own it. He ran. My dad ran an auto. He didn't own it. He ran an automobile agency for a long time.
Listen to them.
No, let her go. Let it, no.
And he really sounds his age in this clip.
No, let it. It's okay. Anyway.
We love Joe, look, chant the United Auto Workers.
I guess what I'm trying to say to you is, I grew up in neighborhoods where I know what it likes when the plant closes down.
Yeah, very good. So, this is what we talk about when we talk about the blind spot of the Bernie Sanders movement, the blind spot of the Social Democrats, the blind spot of a lot of that Bernie coalition. We did a segment that touched on this. We didn't get in depth into this. Maybe we will actually on Sunday. The New Yorker article, which said that, Bernie was upset that the Israel-Gaza war is, taking the UAW strike out of the headlines and taking the labor movement out of the headlines. This just shows that chauvinism in action here. Here you have these UAW workers whose plant is staying open, which is great for them, but no solidarity with the victims of a genocide, right? This is why the left has lost so much of its teeth, because the unionists of old had an international critique.
Right.
They had a foreign policy critique. They had a sense of global solidarity. And in here, you have a protester standing up calling for an end to genocide, and these union workers, right, the vanguard of the new left movement, the laborers, shut up, get out, sit down, we love Joe, we love Joe, we love Joe. I mean, just disgusting, absolutely sickening. Here's Chris Smalls. This is Chris Smalls tweeted out on October 13th, a week into this war. The people united will never be defeated. So yes, it's Free Palestine, because we're not free until we're all free from the river to the sea. War crimes are war crimes, and what's happening in Gaza is inhuman. They want us to pick a side, to divide us, stand with one or the other. The real question is, who's standing for peace and humanity? A couple days later, he updates his feed, posting about Palestine, lost a few thousand followers. Then I got people in the DMs talking about they supported me against Amazon. Get the fuck out of here, you won't be missed. In other words, there were people saying, hey, I supported you, in your struggle against Amazon, but I'm not with you on Israel Palestine.
Support me in my struggle against children.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But so you won't be missed. In other words, this is a litmus test for him, and I think it should be. And I think that good on him for saying that. It's Viva Palestine all day and night, just like it's Viva Cuba. I only want the real. Miss me with the fake. Gain thousands more. Love and solidarity.
That's it. You got to find your audience. Yeah. For everyone you lose, you'll pick up 3 not in the suburbs. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's interesting also. Like, will you wind up, as time goes on, seeing this divide between the old line unions and the new union movements, like the Starbucks, right? There was a story, I don't think we got around to covering it, that Starbucks corporate was retaliating against the union for taking a pro-Palestine position. So these new younger unions may be on the other side from unions like UAW, which is dominated by older union movement people.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly possible, and I certainly hope so. Obviously, Starbucks union was very pro-Palestinian, and that probably, as you said, because they skew younger. But this is why, like during the UAW negotiations, the back end of those coincided with the front end of the Israel war. This is part of why it just felt weird getting invested in that. Because first of all, the stakes are just so much lower by comparison.
Right.
But also you don't have that kind of solidarity anymore. I mean, how could these people not be applauding the anti-war protester there? It doesn't mean like you're there to thank Joe Biden. You're there to fucking kiss Joe Biden's ass for what? Not intervening to crush your strike the way he did to the railroad workers. That's why you love him. He didn't really do anything for the UAW workers, right? So what? You're gonna fucking go there and kiss his ass and shout down an anti-war protester while Joe Biden just said that day. We didn't play this video today because we just didn't do a full segment on this, but it's not really segment worthy. It was about a 10-second video of him leaving Washington, assumedly for this event, asked, will there be a ceasefire? His answer, no, absolutely not.
Right.
And so what kind of solidarity is this? This is bullshit. This is, hey, thanks for coming over here and taking some pictures with us. We really appreciate that. More Democrat bullshit, more business unionism nonsense. And oh, who's this person out here complaining that we're funding a genocide? Boo, boo, get out, sit down, shut up. We love Joe.
And that's what you get at all of these events. At all of these events, if you notice, if there's a common denominator, the foreign policy disruptions, those people are like foreign policy wonks. They're not libs per se. They're Machiavellians. They don't shout down like Blumenthal and people like that when they do this. The guy who disrupted Hillary, they didn't shout him down. But when you get an audience of libs, of normal people, of normal non-pros, this is how they always react. And am I going to call it fascism per se? No, but it shares DNA with it. It's that group impulse to conform and to crush dissent. Right. That locks into place immediately. I will say, and I've thought a lot about this, since this erupted in Israel, some people have gone back and looked at our old videos and commented on how our politics have evolved over time. When we first started, we were Bernie people, right? This is definitely, I think, evolving my politics. I think you probably say that as well. I'm hearing a lot more of the critique of the social democrat philosophy and perspective. I'm understanding what they're talking about more, and I'm becoming more open to that argument that the social democrat movement that Bernie represents is inherently an imperial project, right? It's not questioning the source of the wealth; it's questioning the distribution.
Right. Indeed. Exactly. Questioning the distribution. The whole, we're the wealthiest country in the world, so of course we can afford to take care of our people, without questioning, why are we the wealthiest country in the world? How do we maintain our position as the wealthiest country in the world? And at whose expense are we the wealthiest country in the world?
Right.
Exactly.
And that is why, and that is the critique. Social democrats lack a foreign policy vision because they can't have one. They can't afford to have one because it undermines their entire project.
Please clap.